Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Just hope you had a good day in the market today. Looks like our portfolio did pretty good. Market started out up pretty good and it kind of leveled off. We're going to kind of talk about all that, and also I want to talk to you a little bit about earnings and how what is said during the earnings can impact the price of your stock. So we're going to take a look at a couple of those things with Uber and Lyft, and I want to show you that. A little history on that, what's happened this week and last week with those as far as earnings goes. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at our market, and we'll go on over to CNBC. Let's see here. Our CNBC here, as you can see, well, we've got, looks like our Asian markets are up a little bit, not very much, just a little bit. That's okay. We're going to be happy it's green. So let's go ahead and take a look at the U.S. market today. Like I said, it was pretty flat. You see we're barely up on the S&P and the NASDAQ, but they did close. Those are new records. And the Dow was up pretty good during the day and kind of sold off there towards the end of the day when we finally got into the red there. But overall, it was a pretty decent day. We'll take a look at our portfolio and you'll see what I'm talking about. Oil looks like we're up good again today. Oil prices rise on new virus cases. So oil just keeps going up again. That may help our MPC tomorrow. MPC had a decent day today, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Pre-market. Let's take a look at our pre-market. Pre-market looks like we got a little green across the board. So it may be a good start to the day tomorrow, and that's what we always like to see at night. Again, this could all change by in the morning, but something I like to look at. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our stock portfolio that we set up. X had a pretty decent day. Check out the little chart here. You can see it did have a good start to the day, and then it kind of sold off with the market. But still, we'll take 1.78% up on the day. We'll take that. No selling there. That's one I'm cost averaging, as well as I've gotten a cash account, so I won't be selling those. Peloton had a decent day starting out, and then it kind of sold off. You can see here in the chart, up and down during the day, but it did squeeze out a little green at the end of the day. Novavax, decent day. We'll go ahead and pull up the big chart on that. Opened up and kind of just fought its way up all day. I was really pleased with that. There was a low volume on it. But it still managed to fight its way. It's always good if you can get a green day out of low volume. I was thrilled to see that today because the big boys like to beat this one down and so they didn't get involved in it. It didn't look like today. Actually got up to a high of 735. We're holding some at 712. May should have sold there, but the fact that it was actually inching up all day, I like that. I like the way it was doing. So hopefully, we'll get a little volume day. This thing could jump another 40 cents or so. We could get a real good return on that in just a week or two. So I'm okay with that. Okay with holding it. I've got several shares of that in my portfolio myself. So that's one of my main holdings that I've got right now. So I'm okay with holding it for a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one there. MPC. Again, MPC had a pretty good day. Was up pretty much all the day. If you'll take a look at that little chart there. Let's just go ahead and pull up the big chart on that one and let you look at it. You can see it's a steady climb all day pretty much as well. Really pleased with that activity there. We are down less than 1% on that one now. So a good 3-4% day, and we would probably be out of that one. And go ahead and take that 3 or 4% because we haven't had it that long. So that always is kind of plays into whether I keep it or hold on to it or not. If I've had something that for a couple of weeks or less than a month, and it goes up 3 or 4%, I'm up 3 or 4% on it. I'm probably going to take that money all day long. So EXAS, did have a down day today. I'm okay with that because I'd like to get it into that and again around that 89, 80, 90, somewhere around there. We'll play that by ear when we get there, but it was down pretty much the whole day. CLF, that's one we'd like to get back in on, but had a good day today. But the earnings, I think, was on the 20th for that one. So it's going to, if it had been down today, we might have got some of it. But since it's up now, I doubt it's going to get low enough for us to buy before the 20th. And I don't want to get too close to earnings. And I'll show you an example of why here in just a little bit. ACB, I thought maybe it had found its bottom, but it managed to close in the red again today. It had a pretty decent day. For most of the day it was green, but it did find a way to to go back into the red before the day was over with. So I'm not trusting that one yet. I'm not comfortable with that one, especially with the earnings being Friday. We won't be touching that one this week at all. So did want to talk to you a little bit about the Uber earnings and the LYFT earnings. So let me go ahead and pull up Uber first. I want to show you something that went on with that last week. They had their earnings last week. I'm going to pull up a 5-day chart here and show you Uber and LYFT. If you don't know, these are like new age taxi cabs. I love them. I've driven in Uber a lot when I travel, but it's really neat. You got an app on your phone, and a guy comes, picks you up, a girl comes, picks you up, and it tells you who they are, and what your rate's going to be. Unlike the taxi cab that used to, you just kind of guessing, hoping the guy was going the right route and all that stuff. So I like Uber, but I'm actually holding some LYFT. I got some LYFT a while back. So, but Uber, if you'll take a look here, Uber had earnings last week. And you see here the jump in the stock from about 37, it went all the way up to, the 40 something after earnings. And what did that? I mean, they had a decent earnings, less of a loss than what was expected. But what really drove that was the CEO had mentioned something about profitability by the end of this year, I think he said. So that's what's really got this thing going. And now let me pull up LYFT, but that's what got it going. It was not so much the earnings as it was that comment about profitability. Okay, but if you'll take a look at LYFT here, same time frame there, you start seeing it started to pick up a little bit last week. Let me get the 5-day chart on it. Hang on just a second. But it kind of followed suit with the Uber. Once Uber came out, of course they do kind of the same thing. LYFT is what you call more of a pure play. They concentrate on that driving. Uber's got Uber Eats and some other delivery things that they do, so they're a little bit different. And LYFT is pretty much I believe in the U.S. where Uber may be in other places besides the U.S. But bottom line is here, they got a lift, no pun intended, from Uber last week. And they went up, and their stock went up, and it's been going up a little bit. But earnings was today. Okay, so after the market, the earnings were today. So LYFT had been going up for slightly since the Uber announcement. And what they were expecting or hoping from their earnings that they would mention something about profitability too. Well, they didn't. But their earnings were fine. But you can see what happened to them in the after hours there. They're down 5.7%, all because they didn't follow suit and say they were going to be profitable by the end of the year like Uber did. So that's the kind of things that really matter when it comes to these earnings call. It has a lot to do with what's said during the earnings call. Sometimes like I said before, it's not all about what numbers you had that quarter as much as it is what are you saying about the next quarter, or what kind of news do you got that comes out during the calls, like this one here with Uber did, and drove it up. So it's not always about the numbers. It's not always about whether they're making money, losing money. It's just a lot of times it's all about what's said. And it sounds kind of crazy, but I mean both of these companies are losing money. And so that's an odd thing for anybody that thinks about stocks going up or down. You know, you have a hard time understanding why is a stock going up when it's losing money. Well, the market is about the future. What is going to happen in the future? And so if you come out and the CEOs and the financial folks come out and they say, you know, the future looks good, the things are gonna go up in most cases on earnings and things like that. So that's the kind of thing you watch for. Also today, during let me pull up I want to pull up a chart of our market today. I want to show you this real quick, and you may have seen President Trump's tweet about Mr. Powell here, but he was speaking today, and as he spoke, the market went down. That happens sometimes with the Fed. He's the Fed chairman, and so as he spoke, you see here this market was up to here, but while he was speaking, the market went down. And of course, President Trump loves this market. He wants this market to stay up, and he's not real fond of the Fed anyway because they were raising rates when he was trying to get everything lifted off the ground. But that's a thing that's a stress point that you got to watch too. Is these Fed announcements, these Fed meetings. Those are things that drive this market up or down. You know, and so what he is saying today, evidently the Fed is, you know, they're saying everything looks good right now. They're not really going to do anything with the interest rate right now. So that kind of made the market sell off a little bit, I believe, because maybe the market was thinking something else. But those are things you just watch. It could have been that, could have been anything. You know, we got this virus still going on, so you can't always tell. But one thing that drives the market is fear. We talked about that the other day, as well as greed. And so anything that's said is usually somebody gets scared or they get greedy. So that's just the way the market works. It's not always about how great a company is and that kind of thing. So you just got to watch what's being said in the market. It's kind of crazy that's what drives the market sometimes, but it does. It's unfortunate, but that's how things work. It's not always based about how good a company is. It's about what the company has said as far as their earnings go and things like that. But we had a pretty decent day. Our portfolio, all of them were up, but a couple. And so that's a good day. Any day you have that many green ones and very few red ones, that's a good day. So it looks like we may be in store for another good day tomorrow. So we'll look at that first thing in the morning. Watch the Novavax. I like the way it acted today with very little volume. If any volume comes in on that thing's going to go up pretty good, I believe, and we may be getting out of those shares that we bought the other day. But I hope you like the video. Continue to like the videos. Share the videos and subscribe if you haven't already. Look for the subscribe button in the corner. And if you get an opportunity to subscribe and haven't yet, please click the subscribe button. And we'll check back with you tomorrow sometime. And hopefully we'll have another good day. Have a great day. Bye-bye.